Hello, folks. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Plucking Petals podcast with James and Kyle. As always, I am Kyle.
And I'm James.
As we go a little something like, little something like this.
It's all about the good, bad, love, hate.
Guess what, guys? As you can tell, you're like, oh my god, wow, why is there another episode of the podcast right now? I thought they were a bi-weekly podcast. Guess what? Now we're not. Now
Trying to go weekly.
We're trying to go weekly again. Didn't we do this when we first started? We were doing weekly?
I think we were bi-weekly the whole time.
We were bi-weekly the whole time. Our schedule's freed up a little bit. James's schedule freed up a little bit too. And we decided that we want to do more of a weekly thing. But in between our normal episodes, or we usually have a guest, it's going to be James and I sitting down, and we're going to do a little bit of a different tone. We're actually going to talk about things we like.
Yeah.
Instead of things that we don't like. For those new to the podcast, when we first started, our segments were a combination of these episodes that we're doing, which were we brought in a problem and a like every episode.
It just got way too wordy.
It got way too wordy.
We had to talk about two things.
It was. I didn't feel like
Plus,
it was cohesive.
It was a lot of prep work for me. Like I just did a lot of reading and.
Exactly.
Too
Yeah.
much.
You actually research your things. I don't. Normally, I don't. I think there was like one or two episodes where I actually had a piece of paper.
No, you had like several pieces of paper.
I know.
Flipping through them.
It was bad. I looked really professional.
You
and
did.
And
it's a shame this is an audio-only format. So
I know.
I really appreciate that.
Exactly. So, what's going on with you? What's new with you?
Oh, not a whole hell of a lot.
Okay.
I was making a Dungeons and Dragons character before you came over, so
Ooh.
that's
Ooh.
the level of.
I would say Elise isn't here. She's gone for the weekend. So that's just what you're doing, having drinks and making D&D characters. Now tell the audience about your D&D character because I love him. I think he's great already.
I mean, so I've not really played much of this, but I'm making a wizard that's bad at being a wizard.
Yes.
His plotline is he's very dumb and stubborn.
Yeah.
So he accidentally walked into the wizard school, and people are like, "Shouldn't you not be here?" He's like, "No, I'll be here," and he just made it to graduation, like acting like he fit in.
Fake it till you make it. That's how I got all my jobs in my life. So
he's got like a negative advantage on all his roles. So if I decide to play with him, it's gonna be a nightmare, but it's gonna be lots of fun.
That's gonna be fucking hilarious. And you're playing at side quest today. What is that noise?
My PlayStation just spit out the game inside of it for some reason.
Okay, that's a thing that happens in the PS4 apparently.
No, it is, yeah.
Is that a firmware update? What the fuck was that?
Is there any chance you are sitting on a controller? If not, we have ghosts.
Is there any chance? No, there's nothing behind me unless there's something in this hoodie.
No.
Okay,
that happened.
We have ghosts. That's fine.
Yeah.
I did, yesterday I had my first meeting with a producer, and we are going to make my short film that we talked about a little while back. I joined a contest, and I haven't really talked about it, but I won the said contest, and I got some money to make this short film, so we are now in pre-production, and we're going to be shooting in hopefully October and December.
Okay.
And
why skipping over November?
Just because we need some time lapse within the film, so we want to do kind of like a fall shoot for one day, and then we're gonna do like a dead of winter kind of thing, just to show passage of time and change tone and whatnot. And that's easy to do if you just
like
have some
Boyhood.
snow.
It took 12 years to make.
Exactly. This one take a couple months. It'll be okay. But so we're gonna be doing that. It's called Return to Sender, and so I'm very excited. I don't remember the last time I won something, so it feels good, and we get to make something, and you guys will get to see it sooner or later when it's done. So working on that, and then I did my first improv show with Something Data yesterday at the Beck Center, and that went pretty well. I didn't vomit nor cry. I felt like I was gonna vomit pretty much an hour up until it was gonna happen.
Like nerves, like the
just like stomach. Nerves. It's been a while, so like
that used to be me before like a test.
Yeah,
just like all of the stress is right in your gut, and you're like, I just took 3 poops, and like just sitting here, nothing's coming out, but I just feel like I have to. Like
I do adrenaline pees. Like I think I peed like 4 times before I got on stage. I still do that. Like, I mean, as long as I've been doing rapping and stuff, I still get nervous, and I feel like that's a really good thing, because if I don't get nervous and I don't feel like I have anything to lose, and then I just don't care. So when I no longer feel nervous about something, I no longer want to do it. So, but yeah, it went pretty well. They had some people. We were in a lot more scenes than we were supposed to be because they didn't have a lot of people this time around for whatever reason. So we were only supposed to do like 1 or 2 games, and then we ended up doing like 6 or 7. So that was kind of an adrenaline rush. So I enjoyed it. So I'm gonna be doing that on Saturdays from now on. So
All right, nice.
yeah. So let's talk about this new episode, a new format. We're gonna be doing likes, as I said earlier. So we're gonna be doing likes, and we're gonna talk about millennial stuff. We've been scouring the internet for millennial articles.
It's just so bizarre to be hated for being.
I know, right? As we did the
born,
last
like-
episode when we discussed that a
That's
little
yeah,
bit.
what made me
Whatnot.
think of it, and just seeing like the ridiculousness of like why millennials are ruining blank.
Exactly.
And
It's such
there's
a
some
weird.
really funny ones.
It's great clickbait right now. It
Yeah.
really is. I gotta give them credit. You know, you gotta get viewers, you gotta get ads, you gotta get sponsorships. What better way than to make clickbait article?
But I mean, if you like look at the length of the article we're doing today, like the notes I wrote for today are like the same length. I could put that effort.
It was
and just
it was
get
a
some,
long
like-
it was a not a long article
No, it
at
was
all.
not.
It was like 6 paragraphs. Anyways, but let's talk about your like
All
for
right.
this week, good sir.
So this is I'm gonna just start a little negative, but I'll bring it back around.
Okay, cool.
So you think about how viruses like get people sick.
Yeah.
You don't really think about how, or some people do, but you don't really think about how viruses are affecting bacteria.
Okay.
So there's something crazy. You know, 40% of all the bacteria in the ocean is killed by viruses every day.
Hell yeah. Good for viruses.
Good for viruses.
Fucking doing shit, man.
So
I'm
there's-
proud of you.
There's this thing that happens if a bacteria gets infected with a virus. Most of the time they just die. The immune system's not good enough to fight it off. But
Yeah.
sometimes they survive. And there's something cool that kind of comes out of this. And this is what my like for the day is called Crispr.
Okay. Not the item
Not a
in the
vegetable
fridge
CRISPR,
that
which
I
I
put.
think of from The Simpsons, the episode where Homer buys the gun.
Okay.
And it's like his excuse was, Marge, I hid it in the vegetable CRISPR. How was I supposed to know the kid would look in the vegetable CRISPR? Yeah.
I've never seen that, but
Yeah.
yes, I think that's pretty good.
So it stands for Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Repeats, which I still don't have in my brain.
I
even
don't
though I like
understand
CRISPR a
what.
lot. That's not really important. What
Okay.
is it's part of this bacterial immune system.
All right.
So the virus infects it, the thing manages to scrape by, and then gets healthy again. What
Okay.
it has now in this CRISPR library is a sequence from that virus.
Okay.
So if that virus ever infects it again, it already has the means to just kick it right out.
Yeah.
So this CRISPR has a CRISPR-associated system called Cas, and what it does is it just cuts the DNA up, and it's useless. There's
Interesting.
or RNA. So a virus infects it, just gets cut up, it's just can go on peachy with the rest of its life.
I can dig it.
So what's cool about this? So it can be easily modified to knock viruses out of humans.
Okay.
So in a lab setting, CRISPR was used to remove HIV from human cells.
Yeah.
And then they affected a mouse with HIV, and they used CRISPR on it, and they didn't get it all out, but about half of the cells were no longer infected in that
Well, that's
mouse.
good.
So this can be used to remove, like, chronic viruses, like herpes lives in your cell. You can use it to just cut it out, and
Yeah.
you no longer have these viruses.
Is this in the human testing phase?
Someplace. It's very, like, in its infancy for
Okay.
sure.
So we can't do that in America yet, where we have all these weird laws about helping people, but that's fine.
But it can also use to put DNA in. So,
Okay.
like, one thing that they're working on doing, I know China had a study last October, I think. I don't really know the results of it.
Yeah.
But their plan was to use CRISPR to give your immune cells, like, a specific sequence to go hunt down, so
Okay.
they would fight off, in this case, lung cancer.
Yeah.
But you can use it to jumpstart your immune system to be like cancer hunters.
This basically sounds like the plot of Gattaca. So
Is it? I have not seen that movie.
You don't need to see it. It's fine. People like it. I don't think it's good. It's just, it is what it is. I think Jude Law's in it. That's why I like it. It's in any capacity because I like Jude Law. Anyways,
Yeah, he made a good Dr. Watson in those weird Sherlock movies with Robert Downey
those
Jr.
are fun.
right? Yeah,
I
they're
think
alright.
I think he's a good actor. I think he's fine. He's not in a lot,
I
but
didn't like that movie with him and Natalie Portman and was it Julia Roberts?
in Clive Owen, are you about to say you don't like the movie Closer?
Yeah, that was it.
I love that
Oh,
movie.
man.
That movie's great.
It seems so pointless. It's just like
That's just like life.
Poor
That's
shitty
the
people.
idea. Exactly.
so like the twist at the end is, oh my god, Natalie Portman lied about her name. Look, we were at this okay.
sometimes life is
Cool.
just pointless. It's okay. It's all right.
All right, but let me bring this back around to the pretty neat thing about CRISPR.
Okay, I want to know what's pretty neat.
So, do you know about 3,000 human diseases we've discovered are caused by a single letter in your DNA being wrong?
Yes.
So, they're working on modifying CRISPR that just goes through, and it's like, say, you have cystic fibrosis or factor V clot disorder, where it's one or several pieces of DNA that are wrong.
Okay.
It'll just run through and pull out the broken one and put in the one that should be there.
With ease, without problem?
Well, I mean, so that's before, if you want to do any kind of genetic modification, the procedures you had to use were super expensive, not greatly reliable.
Okay.
And, it took a long time.
Yeah.
Now it's like 1% of the cost it used to be. What used to take years is weeks, and it's just also a lot more like easier to do. It's just easier and more robust. Like it works more
Gotcha.
with CRISPR. So it's still in infancy, but like it is totally believable with this system that like you do like, hey, I carry whatever disease. Let's say I carry factor V.
Yeah.
Well, we can just go in and either change my egg or gametes, my sperm cells.
Yeah.
Or you
gross.
could just like, if I get pregnant or I get someone pregnant, you can test the baby and then go ahead and change it so it would not have that disorder that I'm carrying.
Yeah, you definitely need to watch Gattaca.
Yeah. This is what it is. I was thinking of Gundam Seed.
I don't. Wait.
Yeah.
Gundam Seed. That's the robot show, though.
It's the giant people getting in robots. But the premise of the Gundam Seed is a bunch of people like genetically modified themselves.
Okay.
And got thrown off of Earth, and they're like living in colonies in space, and they're giant robots fighting the Earth, which who are the normal people, and the space people who are the genetically modified people.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Okay.
so that kind of brings me back around. So the potential of this is great. You can cure a lot of
it
diseases.
sounds awesome. What are the downsides?
So here's where so the fact is, if I learn how to cure a disease, making your hair a certain color or whatever is also just changing some letters.
Yeah.
So it kind of enters that moral gray area of like designer babies.
Okay.
So you really could so think about how cool it would be to like get rid of aging, or like, we live in a very high energy society where you have access to a lot of food, but we
This is
have
true.
bodies that still have digestive systems where food is scarce. We store a lot of that as fat instead of like, putting it into muscle, which
Oh,
takes-
I know.
Yeah.
I've seen my body before.
Yeah. But you could go and modify that. So you'd have someone who has a lot, like he has to eat like 4,000 calories a day to kind of like stay up and running. But that all gets converted into like muscle or
Yeah. God, that would change the competitive eating scene. I would love it.
That's so weird that's where you went. Like
capacity
competitive eating.
eating training would be amazing. Watching someone eat 10,000 calories in a day would be the easiest thing in the world. That'd be the lowest ring of the YouTube. You have to go to like 100,000. Like this excites me in an eating aspect.
Okay.
So you told me I could eat more and not die. I'm in.
No, that is
That's
wonderful.
fine. Is this expensive?
So, like I said, everything when it's on the cutting edge that's what this is right now. But the thing is, if we get this and we get it nailed down, it's so easy and cheap to just like once we have it figured out, like just make more of it. But there's still like we don't really know everything about the human genome, obviously. So we could go in and change something.
Okay.
And like, great, it made the change we wanted, but we didn't know that this gene was also related in these other pathways, and now there's these weird, unexpected consequences.
Okay.
So I'm really excited for this, but we do have to take it slow.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is the moral aspect of like, well, then do we start doing vanity traits?
Yeah.
And then.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. It will happen. And then there's also the weird aspect, like if I use CRISPR to knock a virus out of an adult, that doesn't get passed on. But if I use, like I mentioned before, CRISPR to change like a baby, like when it's in the embryo stages, well, it passes that on now, and forever forward, the human genome has been genetically modified.
So I guess it just like turns into a morality cause.
Yeah,
like
it's gonna be some weird gray questions, and this is as long as things keep going, this is not a if question, it's a when question.
Yeah, it sounds so. Like, what's the timeline of this potentially coming to market?
I'm not sure, because like research, there's a lot of like litigation. It's not going to be like the progression of like computers, where you think of like when our parents were kids.
Yeah,
all of the computing power in the world is like in my pocket right now.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, we went to space with less than what's on my iPhone currently. So
which is impressive.
Which is very impressive.
And then you also have like there's like we kind of have like moral codes in here, like in America and other like westernized world, but also like what if North Korea does this research and then like all of a sudden They
they're just
breed
kicking
out,
ass.
They breed out questioning. You find out what part of the brain is responsible for wondering about things, and then just make a bunch of non-questioning
soldiers,
super soldiers.
Just make super soldiers. I could see where that it goes back into that other movie where they have the clones and they just make clones to fight people.
Attack of the Clones of Star Wars.
Yeah, that one. There's other ones too that were probably a little bit better, but that's interesting. So if you're be able to mess with the DNA in that capacity, can I add features to myself?
You probably could.
I could have a third arm.
If you all right, I don't know about that one because you'd have to make so many changes on the anatomy.
Okay,
but you mean potentially you could.
Okay,
I think that kind of thing where we're adding features is so far away because you have to build it from scratch. Where a lot of this other stuff is modifying what's already there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was I gonna ask? Okay, so you're telling me is that in the future we can pick what we want in our children. So I feel like everyone's gonna have great hair, great beards. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna be looking great.
So part of me is that feels wrong, but it's also it sucks to be I don't know, just have something wrong with you that could easily been fixed. Yes, obviously for health issues, but it's unfair that people go bald. Why do people? I don't know. Yeah, it's just.
I would love to go back in my DNA and not deal with the acne that I have in my life, and not have to pay a bunch of money for acne medicine to try to just survive. But yeah, just having that. Well, then it turns into if everyone's so perfect, are the imperfect people the better people then?
I don't know.
So that
then
turns
you go
into
around,
a whole
and
subplot.
then will there be that Gundam Seed style schism I talked about? Yeah.
You're a rare person then. You're a holographic Charizard of a person just because you are a little bit bald or you need glasses. Hell yeah, I could be the imperfect perfect.
Wouldn't you rather just not have to wear glasses?
Yeah, in a way. I like my glasses though. I used to wear contacts.
Yeah, but the difference is if your eyes were perfect, you could still just wear glasses with glass frames.
I would love there was something more in my life that I would like more than to be able to go to a store and buy a pair of $5 sunglasses and wear them.
Yep.
And not have to be completely just blind. That'd be amazing because I used to have to just put them over my own glasses, and it makes you look like an asshole. And I ended up having to buy prescription lenses, which also make me look like an asshole. So yeah, I would like to have perfect eyes. Maybe LASIK is in my future. How much do you think it would be to change a baby?
No idea.
That'd be fucking crazy.
I don't know what prenatal care costs now. Those kinds of things are not.
Yeah, we're not. Our girlfriends
Yeah.
aren't pregnant, and I don't know anyone who is pregnant. So good on our friend base. I guess that's probably smart on us. At this
We're old
point.
enough now that's not a weird thing anymore. I know that's such a weird jarring transition. But
What is?
That someone being pregnant is more of a congratulations and not oh no, because you're oh wait, right, we're old now, we're supposed to do this.
Exactly.
It's not oopsie.
Yeah, oopsie. Yeah, it's I just saw some dumb thing on Instagram where it's a text conversation of a friend to a friend, and the girl's oh yeah, I'm pregnant, and the other one's what are you gonna do? And she's we're married, I'm gonna keep it. She goes, oh yeah, I forgot that we're 30. Shit. Yeah. Oh my god, the possibility. Now, do you think we would put this on animals before we would do human stuff?
Yeah. I mean, there's already some animal testing.
Okay.
But yeah, you always do the animal testing first.
Because now I'm thinking not only that we'll make perfect humans, but we'll also make perfect animals and perfect sustainable food sources. We could make, we kind of make the best cows already, but we genetically modify them with a whole bunch of bullshit.
Well, but there's also I try to avoid food on purpose because our entire first podcast is me bitching about how people hate GMO food.
But I like food though.
Yeah, but you could modify a cow that I don't know how, but it's possible to just a big problem with the beef industry right now is that cows secrete a lot of methane, and that's
they do.
heating the planet.
Methane
holds quite a bit more heat than CO2 does, actually.
Yeah.
Just modify cows that don't fart or fart differently.
But also maybe cows that talk, that'd be really fun.
I don't want to eat something that's capable of
Hold on,
talking.
no, it's not even that. Just think of you've seen movies with animals that talk, right?
Yeah.
They put peanut butter in the horse's mouth. Think if it actually could talk, and we wouldn't need the CGI bullshit.
Really? That would raise such horrible moral implications.
Kevin the horse is talking for real and knows his lines, and he's on set on time. That's fucking awesome. I'm in for Kevin the horse.
Okay.
Until we have to put him down, and then I'll feel fucking awful.
Yeah.
But because I just keep thinking of all the dumb animals that we have to, like... We will have better movies in television. Because just think of, like, the dumb... Like,
Your priorities are so weird.
They have animal trainers, but it's like, you can't really train a snake to do cool snake stuff on set. Like, you're kind of just risking it here. But if that thing... We change its DNA with the CRISPR, like, that thing understands life.
Well,
and
yeah, this is raising,
empathy.
like, way horrible, different
Now,
moral implications.
that's
because
now- now
it's like,
we're
now
gonna
we've
get into
created,
dark
like,
times.
sentience in all animals, so, like, well, that sucks.
You know, I was getting there to a
Yeah.
certain step. We were going to make great television and film again. We'll make the next Cheers with only animals. It'd be great. And then, but the problem is we're going to turn it into a Planet of the Apes situation. So it kind of depends on how long I want to live. Do I want to live long enough?
Well,
where
so
I
the
get to-
thing is, if you make them all sentient at the same time, like, why are they going to team up with each other? I think you just have a lot of little faction wars going on.
Man, Animal Wars. I'd be into that. That'd be fun. I'm sure we would still... Okay, so then, like, that's when we go back into, like, the DNA where we, like, don't make them too smart. Like, make them, like, all, like, 4th grade level intelligence. Just enough where they can draw and hang out and go to the bathroom and maybe remember some lines once in a while. That's all I ask.
They have elephants that can do that now.
They have elephants that paint. That's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Well, he draws, goes to the bathroom, and hangs out, so he does, like, 75% of what you're...
That is true.
Yeah.
But also back to okay, so this is a different kind of DNA, but I was reading a story the other day that Facebook took down some kind of AI they were working on because it was becoming self-aware and making its own language. And because of that, we couldn't decipher its own language, so we killed it. So it's like we're already at that point, but also we have robots that like kill themselves. They had like a security. It's loosely killed itself, but it makes me laugh that like we're like, oh, cool, security robot, and it just ends up falling in a fucking.
That picture was hilarious.
That is so funny. It just killed itself. It just went in the water and died. So we kind of have to. I guess we have to be very careful to give these kind of powers to people, because I mean there could be back alley babying. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be a cool insurance scheme right there.
Back alley babying.
Back alley babying. That's a cool band name. Do you want to start a band?
No.
Okay. You know what I want to do though? I want to get into this millennial business. This article that you sent me this morning when I was reading it. Describe this article. You can even read it because it's so short.
This came out in March of this year.
This year. Okay.
Millennials have officially ruined brunch.
And how did I do that with my dumb hands?
Oh my god. Remember when brunch was a simple meal? You waited 10 minutes at the hostess stand, ordered pancakes and hash browns, maybe sipped on a spicy Bloody Mary, and left.
That's called breakfast, asshole.
As the years rolled on, it took on a ceremonial role in the city life as brunchers convened to discuss who was the Carrie, Samantha, Charlotte of the group. But lately,
I like this tone.
Brunch has
like this
morphed into
accent.
something more horrific, a millennial lifestyle. They squat at tables for hours to eat, drink, and show 250 Instagram followers what hashtag brunch goals look like.
All right, stop. Stop for 1 second. We're not there for hours. And if we are paying customers, and we are constantly buying things, and we're helping the restaurant and helping the industry. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, the just like smug assholeness of this writer. I hate him.
I'm sorry that
so
you couldn't get
much.
a table on a Sunday. We also have that same problem. We're people. I'm sorry. Go eat Uber Eats or use Postmates and go fuck yourself. Like, come on, man.
Then this guy gets super pissed that there's a brunch convention.
Okay.
He just bitches how there's a brunch con and like it's $60 to go celebrate brunch. Like, fucking lay off, man.
We go to like games. You go to baseball and football games, and like that's expensive, and that's like a convention every time they're in fucking town. So no, that's dumb. That's really dumb. I hate this person. I like brunch. Brunch is a blast. Guess what? I don't have a lot of things. And know what I like? I like food a lot. It's the one thing besides, family and friends and girlfriends that make me happy. So I'm going to spend a little more money on that because I can't spend any more money anywhere else. So
I want to now finish on this guy's smug ending. He talked about the brunch con and how it sold out very quickly. If you weren't lucky enough to get a ticket, there's a wait list, otherwise known as a directory of the saddest people in the world.
Oh my God. So you've never waited in line for anything. This person is a snowflake. Snowflake file. Jesus. All right. When's the last time you went to brunch?
Actually, it's been a while.
I think it's been a while. We need to remedy it. We should do a brunch episode.
I'd do that.
I thought I don't know how well that's gonna sound audio wise because we're
Just
eating
the clanking.
because we're clanking, eating food, and people in the background being dicks. But it'd be funny just to bring a whole bunch of audio equipment to a brunch. I think that'd be hilarious. I just don't understand why why are we ruining brunch?
People just like the bitch.
I think they do. And once again, it's like putting the word Trump in any of your articles.
Huh? Oh, did you say Trump?
Trump.
Like the president?
Yeah, like the president. It's clickbait, and I get that, and you have to get viewers, sponsorships, and advertising money, and everyone needs food on their plate and pay the rent. But you just can't do that. That's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
How about write about something that's going on in the world? That's cool.
But it's we're all sitting here. It's our fault, right? Because we're millennials and we're reading. We can't sit and read a long article. We just need that.
Instant gratification. Yeah. That's why. Yeah. It's God. This upsets me. Why? Why are we ruining things, James?
Nah, we suck.
I know. I can't help it. No. What else doesn't suck? My like.
What is your like?
My like is improv. Easy. Phoning it in today. James, you know what improv is?
Nope. Explain it for me.
Improv is an art form, where...
Does it maybe, I don't know, is it a shortened form of something?
It can be. Improvisation? I can't say that word without screwing it.
Improvisational comedy, maybe?
Improvisational. Could be comedy. Doesn't have to be comedy. That's the thing. It's where you get a suggestion from an audience, maybe a word or a phrase or an item or a verb or a noun or even an adjective, and you base what you're doing on stage.
Thanks for just explaining the components of the English
sentence?
language to me. Yeah.
Thank you for calling me out on that. I'm like, oh, fuck. And they take that suggestion and you use it on stage as inspiration to make something completely new and exciting and never been done before. It's very much a high-stakes kind of art form in my mind. You can do short form, which is kind of like game stuff, like Whose Line stuff. They're quick 5-minute games. Or you can do a long form, which is about 45 minutes to an hour of just kind of random scenes and whatnot that all kind of have a centralized theme and a full circle aspect to it. I've been doing improv for a little while now, doing classes and hopping in and out of groups and whatnot. And I got to say, it is the one thing in my life that has improved everything else in my life. It improves the way I work and how I do things and how I interact with people and strangers, and it's great. Improv is wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why don't you bring those talents here?
I do because I don't bring paper in, and I just go, I think I got an idea, and then you tell me your idea, and then I don't think about it until I set up the microphones. I go, oh fuck.
So what are your favorites? Like improvisational, like famous establishments? Like Whose Line's an example. What are some other like good improv that I could go and experience?
Okay, so here, not much, but you can go if you can go see me, your co-host Kyle. That's me at the Beck Center with Something Dada, which is their in-house improv troupe. You've met obviously through the podcast Lindsay and Lisa. They're on a improv group called Asking for a Friend. They are Something Dada's short form, Asking for a Friend's long form. They have a really cool. Sometimes
so
they
what
have
is long form? You said short form was like the little games.
Yeah. So long form is you start with an idea or a word or whatever, and you kind of just make scenes based off of that. And as the scenes go on, like start like side stories start developing, and just it's like a world creating.
So there's probably a lot of callbacks and inside jokes in long form. So like you have different skits, but it like references back.
Exactly. It's like it starts its own story. It's like I think it's just kind of like a sandbox where it's like you start building something and then you realize that something else could be added to the sandbox to make it a little more better, and you keep going. It's hard to explain. It's also a hard to sell without showing someone how it works. I do like asking for a friend's aspect of it, because what they do is they have all their journals that they have when they were teenagers, and they get the audience gets to pick the journal entry, and they base all their scenes off the journal entry, basically.
So what's the benefit of improv? Like, I'm actually a big fan of like sketch groups. I really like the Whitest Kids You Know. Kids, some of that old school Kids in the Hall. Mm-hmm. Monty Python was a little too British for me. Like I like the feature films.
That's totally
like, actually
acceptable.
Most of Flying Circus is unwatchable to me.
Yeah, that's fine. What was the question?
So what's the advantage of improv? Like I say, like I see what I like about sketch. And I liked Whose Line, but that's literally the only.
I think the idea of the fact that when you're there as an audience member, this is the first and only time you're gonna see this happen. There's no other. The idea of improv is that it's a one shot, and you'll never see that sketch. You'll never see that aspect. You never see those characters again for the most part.
So is it like a way for, like, let's say I'm a stand-up comedian or I do write a sketch show. Is improv a good way for me to go and maybe come up with ideas for like something that I could expand on in my more structured format?
Most
People
definitely.
use it like that?
So when we did that sketch show at Playhouse, we started off by having like some sketch ideas. We also do like an improv set, just like in our house or whatever, and we kind of get an idea and a theme and a tone through improv. So that's basically how I like to do my writing with sketch, is start off. And a lot of other sketch shows around, like whether it be like UCB or Second City in Chicago, they start off doing improv scenes, and they take the ones that are good and they develop them into sketches, and then they tour with them, basically. So I feel like it's really good as a baseline.
The minor league of comedy, right? It's the farm team.
I mean, yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't mean minor league as in its worst. I really did mean farm team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's its most pure, because you don't know what you're gonna do until everything's in the moment and in an aspect. So yesterday I did a scene, and the suggestion, literally someone just said dildos, and we had to literally make a whole scene about dildos. And it's like, with sketch, you know what's gonna happen. You know the beats.
I feel like that has probably happened so many times.
Yeah. So I had the person that I'm on the improv, one of the many people I'm on Something Data with, he was my teacher and how I started. And one of the first things he said to us as a class, he said, listen, some people are just going to give you shitty suggestions. And he's like, you just got to do it. He's like, sometimes someone's just going to yell dildos, and you're going to have to make a whole scene about dildos or a bag of dicks. And he's like, that's just how
Can't you just act like you don't hear them, and then be like, oh, wait, didn't someone in the crowd in the back say...
See, that's like, you can, but at the same time, it's a lesson, too. So you do that scene, and you do it dildos, and you basically show, like, we're pissy about it. Like, we're kind of, in a way, you're shaming them for being a dick. Because I think we called him out the rest of the evening for having bad suggestions. But also, you don't want to, like, ignore people, because then it sounds like you have plants.
Yeah.
So you want to make it as natural as possible.
Yeah, otherwise you look like that one film from the short film festival we went to that clearly had filmed 95% of it beforehand.
Exactly. Yeah. But yes, I do think improv is a fun thing. I think that anyone and I also don't have any theater experience. I know people like to do like plays, and then they get into improv that way. I just like improv because I thought it was a cool thing to do. And I feel like anyone can get into improv. Even doing classes, I feel like it really improves just how conversations go in my normal life. It helps with just everything. It's weird. It sounds like a cult, because it basically is. Did you see have you seen BoJack Horseman?
No, I really haven't.
They do a lovely subplot of one of the characters getting into an improv group, and is like super culty, and like all they do is fart jokes. It's like that's the downside of improv sometimes, is like some groups like to do like, oh, this is poop, it's a fart joke, like that's but also that happens in stand up and sketch as well. There's always good and bad sides to both. So I don't know. I just really like improv, and it very much excites me. It's something that I like doing. I like the risk of it. I like doing one thing at one time, and then also not thinking about it, because like once it's done, that's it.
So if someone listening wanted to get into improv for themselves, what advice would you have for them to follow that path?
I would say, depending on your location, if you're around the Cleveland area, they do classes at the Beck Center. I recommend doing those. I think their semester is over, and I think they're probably starting up in a month or so.
Does that cost money?
It costs money. I think it's like $100 for like 10 classes.
$10 a class, yes.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's about an hour or so of training, and you can also see stuff online. If you're not in the Cleveland area, I'm sure if you just look up your local arts center, they have people that train people. I think it's just like it's a fun thing to do to get out of your head, and not to like, when I'm on stage, like I don't think about anything. It's like this purest, like I know people like to meditate and stuff and to clear their mind. Being on stage doing improv for me is clearing my mind, because you can't think about anything.
So that's part of why I like fishing so much.
Exactly.
It's just like when you're sitting there, especially when you see, like if people be like, "What's your name? What do you do for a living?" Like, I don't know right now.
Yeah,
Like, my brain is
nothing.
not talking.
I
to
don't
those
do fucking
neurons
anything
at all.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. It's that I like the clearing of mind. It makes you feel one. I don't know. It makes you feel just like on this constant plane. Like it's nice. It's a really nice feeling. But like when I do sketch, like I'm thinking about it constantly, and I'm thinking about how to make this joke better. It's just like, and the improv stuff, it doesn't go well. It's we're over. It's fine. It was 2 minutes ago. It's I'm sure I did some stuff yesterday that wasn't top notch, and that's totally okay. And that's the process of learning how to do.
But it's you're better than everyone who never even got off the couch. Like,
exactly. And I hate that phrase, but it's true.
sometimes you need those little the overused. I don't know. I can't even think of what it's called right now.
I understand. That's totally fine. But yeah, so improv's cool if you want to do it sometime, or you just want to come see it. I realize I'm plugging the improv group that I'm in right now, but that's kind of, that's how we get butts in seats.
I understand, most of podcasting or even talk shows is really just plugging up.
Exactly.
Things.
I mean, I'm sure whoever goes on Conan that night is just not there just to hang the fuck out. So it's, that's what I'm doing. So yeah, improv. I like to shake my hand and say improv. I don't know why. I think it's more of a thing that Jason and I do. All right, so we're gonna do a reversal of the happy endings. Instead of taking a bad thing and making it good, like a silver lining, for these episodes we're gonna take a good thing and turn it bad, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Is there another word is there an opposite word of silver lining?
I have no idea. Silver center? Is that...
Silver center, like black lining? I don't. Yeah. Darkness falls. I don't know. Dark times. I'll figure it out. We'll get a good name for it. So we don't have anything written down by our friend James, which I'll have to bug him this week about. But how you said you had one.
I do. I thought of one.
Okay.
Payday.
Payday.
Yeah.
The candy bar?
No. Like the day of the month, or where the money from your employer actually gets deposited into your account.
Okay. So why? So I have to say, why is it bad?
Yeah.
Because it tends to just go to bills, and I don't get to see it for long. I think another aspect of it is that, so I know I'm getting paid, and then I get comfortable, and then I'm like, oh cool, I just got another paycheck. It doesn't make me want to like thrive in other ways and find another job sometimes, just because I know I'm getting paid. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of works. I like the I can stifle ambition one more than the it has to go to bills thing.
Yeah. It's just, because I'm like, I know every 2 weeks on a Thursday, I'm going to see money in my bank account because I did work for this company. And because they gave me that money, I slow down my job search a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think it definitely stifles creativity in some capacity. We're a slave to the money. I had I've been doing research studies lately. Been going online, like applying for them, and they call and they talk to you about a product or whatever. And I realized that I'm a slave to cash, because I had one where this person like changed the time on me, but it was like, it was $100, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll just work around your schedule then. Like, it made
For how much work?
It was like 30 minutes.
So he's basically giving you $200 an hour.
Exactly.
I would jump through a few hoops for that.
Exactly. But it's just like, but also in that way, it's kind of like, man, like I needed that money because I wanted to get something. And I'm like, all right. Like, I'm like, and then I hung up the phone. I'm like, I'm such a fucking slave to this cash sometimes. I wish I wasn't. I wish I had a good enough job that I wasn't doing research studies on the side, but they're fun. I like have you done a research study?
Not since college. It was part of when I took psychology. We had to then do other psych student, like the people that were majoring in its research things.
I recommend them. I think they're a blast. I really like just like talking to someone about their product for a little bit, and also they pay you. And then if you go in person, they tend to feed you, so it's free food. You're like, I got a dinner, and I make $100.
That
so
sounds interesting.
I'll send you some links after this. It'll be it'll be good. Do you have any negative things about your payday?
No. I actually didn't really think about it much myself. I was just trying to think of something that it generally is viewed as good.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes also like your payday could be incorrect.
Yeah,
it could be wrong, especially when you're doing like direct deposit work. Because you can't really fight the check once the check's there. So, yeah, I mean, they could fix it maybe later, but or also we had, what was it? We had we got paid on Thursday, and our checks went to a different company, like a different dealership. And my company just didn't go get them. So we had to wait an extra day for people who didn't get direct deposit to get their check. And I'm like, well, that's pretty dickish.
Kind of lame.
And it wasn't like, oh, you're 2 hours away. It was 20 minutes away. It was real dumb. Anyways, so I think this is our new format for these kind of episodes.
We're gonna off days.
For the off days, the off weeks, and whatnot. Once again, we are now a weekly podcast for the time being until we kill each other. That's pretty much how we're gonna do things from now on. So expect double the fun of a Plucking Petals podcast. We may have guests on this one too. Maybe I kind of just like hanging out with James
but just so it doesn't, we could let the guests decide if they want to do a negative or a positive.
It's a good idea. I like how we're focus grouping this on air. It's great. I'm not cutting this out. Fuck it.
Yeah, I know you never cut anything.
I rarely cut anything out. James, what are you into this week? Now I can say week for things.
Yeah, I don't know.
Instead of saying
I feel like
this
I just
episode.
saw you, so I don't know. But I guess it was a week ago.
Yeah.
Just wasn't enough time.
What do you? I'm sorry. What are you into this week? What are you doing?
I feel like I did nothing this week.
Really?
Yeah.
I was say you've just been hanging out making D&D characters and drinking and
my PlayStation's haunted. It's just turning on and spitting out the games inside.
That's fine. It's okay. It's only a PS4. For me, I start recording the Try Harder album this week. Starting on Tuesday, so we're going to be recording and kind of going through that. I have a show August 24th at the Agora opening for Psycho Stick, and September 6th I am opening for Froggy Fresh and Moneymaker Mike. That is at the Beachland Ballroom. You can see me doing improv most Saturdays at the Lakewood Beck Center from 8 to 10, short form comedy. Sometimes it's comedy and sometimes it's improv, so it's fine. I think that's about it.
Cool.
Once again, this has been the Plucking Petals podcast with James and Kyle. As always, I am Kyle.
I just want to turn my air back on.
Have a good day.